What is going on, everybody? My name is Will. And I am joined by Chase, and we are on the highway to hell. No,
Yeah.
do your best ACT. No, I'm
Not
not
even
putting you on the
close.
spot.
I'm gonna
I know
blow
you
out
can't
my
even do it.
vocals.
Oh man, yeah. So we're gonna do a trailer reaction for a new Hellboy movie that Chase just made me aware of. I didn't know they were making another Hellboy film.
Mhm.
What was the last one that we got? It was
The
like,
David Arbor
wow,
one.
it's already been like 3 or 4 years ago, right? It was
Yeah.
2019 or 2020, the last one
Yeah.
came out with David Arbor.
Yeah. Around there.
Um,
Which I actually didn't hate for people that care. I didn't hate that. I didn't think it was
yeah.
terrible. I
I
just didn't
never
think it was
saw
great.
I never saw it, but I am a fan of David Arbor. I like
Yeah.
his work. I mean, I grew up with Ron Perlman, man. I'm a Ron Perlman Hellboy dude.
Yeah.
I love those movies, Guillermo del Toro, having his personal touch involved as well. Kind of sold those for me. So, especially that second one, I think the art direction in the second one in the Golden Army was really cool. Talking about the original too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I heard mixed things about the David Arbor one, but
Yeah.
again, never had the chance to see it myself, so can't speak on that. But we're gonna do a reaction to Hellboy: The Crooked Man is the subtitle, and I guess this is the official trailer that dropped at Comic-Con. Chase, do you know anybody who's in this? Is this
Nope.
mostly like lower tier, not lower tier,
Yeah.
but what do we want to say, like a B
I just
tier
haven't
talent, so to speak?
I just haven't looked into it. I just know the trailer dropped,
Mm,
pretty mixed reactions. It seemed like it was up my alley.
mm,
The Crooked Man. It's by Brian Taylor, who he's
mm.
done Crank. He did Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, Crank 2.
Oh,
He also
damn.
did
Okay.
Mom and Dad. It's a Nick Cage movie, which I've actually seen.
Yeah. How was that?
If Mom and Dad, I actually think that's the biggest example of how to shit the bed on an ending of all time. But otherwise, everything
Okay.
but the ending is really good.
Good to know. Okay.
Yeah. So
All right, man.
for people that are like curious after I said that, it's about like two kids. Their parents go psychotic and start trying to kill their kids. So they have to
Mm,
survive their parents' rampage, and it follows Nick Cage.
okay.
So it's good. And Jack Kessie, I only know him from nothing. Who's playing
Mm.
Hellboy? I don't know him
The
from
Jack Kessie, the name sounds familiar to me, but I'd have to look him up and see what else he's in. I'm sure, I've seen him in something at some point.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, yeah, we're gonna we'll check it out and we'll let you guys know what we think. So we're gonna bring the video up here in a second. But before we do that, if you like the content on this channel, if you like what we do here on
Yes.
From Screen to Shelf, like, subscribe, smash the like button, hit the
Smash
notification
it.
bell so you can be alerted when we post content like this. But without further ado,
Get it.
let's get to the reaction. Okay, here we go.
I'm
Hellboy:
so
The Crooked
curious.
Man official trailer. I am too. This
Heard
looks
so
like
much about it.
this looks like a river
There's something going on
in
here.
Maine that I go to.
I need to understand it. Like you do.
Kind of like
exactly
Evil
why I
Dead
shouldn't be
vibes
here.
here.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Nice.
You might say a demonic entity falls under our expertise.
Hmm.
Catch up.
Crooked Man's waiting on you.
He just looks awkward
That's
compared to Ron
interesting.
Perlman.
Hmm.
That was kind of cool.
Hmm.
Oh, you didn't want me to squash?
No, squashing's good.
I heard tales about him all my life. Most just called him the Crooked Man.
Totally different vibe
for
from what I'm used to as far as Hellboy on the big screen.
You hear something?
This feels like something like The Witch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Small scale, cozy, at home, shot in one location.
It ain't even really begun.
Come on, Snake, let's rattle. Let not your horns be troubled. By way they know not. I will make the darkness
I'm gonna say that actually looks good.
Power of prayer, son. Just in case.
I don't know what like, I get it looks a little fan filmy, but I like that. Like, Hellboy's always been about, like, more small scale stuff in the comic books. Um, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but man, the original Hellboy is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. I
Yeah,
adore
man.
that movie. I think it's an almost perfect movie. It has everything that you could want in a movie. The
Mm,
script is amazing. The acting is amazing. The practical effects should be studied and how they were done and the way that they were handled. But
yeah.
that looks really good. That looks better than the David Arbor one. And like I said, like I found it was okay. I didn't think it was terrible.
Wow.
I had problems with it, but that
Yeah.
looks good. That looks like the type of horror movies I would turn on, but it just features Hellboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, what's interesting to me is, and you kind of pointed out, you touched on this briefly, but what's interesting to me about it is it takes place seemingly it's like a completely different setting than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Even the atmosphere as well, it's like completely different tone than what I would expect from a Hellboy movie. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, you know.
Yeah.
So that was what intrigued me the most, you know? I mean, as far as the performances, they look solid, the
They're having
acting in
fun.
the trailer. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm interested in it. I don't know if I'll end up watching it. I don't know if this is going to be released theatrically or not, or if this is going to end up being streaming. Didn't necessarily say, I don't think. It
Let me
just said
see.
coming soon. Let's see if we can figure that out. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I love the Ron Perlman movies. The first one and the Golden Army, both of them, the sequel. Loved both of them. Agree with the practical effects and the special effects makeup in those movies. Absolutely incredible job. One of the things that stands out about those films that I love so much. Just the art direction is incredible. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious as to what they're doing with this movie in terms of the set design and the atmosphere. It looks like you said in the beginning, it showed like the cabin in the woods. It kind of reminded me of Evil Dead, and then at the same time, you have like the possession aspect to it.
Yeah.
And like you said, in terms of the tone, even some of the cinematography, some of the shots in there, like even that opening shot going over the rocks with the trees, like in
Yeah.
that dried up creek bed or whatever you want to call that riverbed, what it appeared to be, very reminiscent of shots that we saw in a movie like The Witch, right? Like
Yeah.
cinematography, I agree, reminded me a lot about or very much of that movie. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I may check this out depending on where we can find it. Did you happen to find whether or not it's going to be theatrical or streaming?
No, I didn't find anything, but for people
Mm,
that may want to or may not want to, I'll just read off some quick notes. I was just searching the wiki and stuff like that, but we pretty much nailed it. I haven't looked anything into this. I just remember the word of mouth. People were saying this looked like a fan film, which I mean, I guess in some parts, but it also looks like it just looks like a Shutter. I mean,
mm,
that's kind of like a little bit downplaying it. It doesn't look like a Shutter original. It looks like these newer Shutter originals they've been putting out theatrically. It seems on par with that, right?
mm,
But the entire intention that Brian Taylor has with this is to go for the folk horror approach because that's what the comics have. It's like I said, like the
mm,
comics are very small scale. Like this isn't Spawn, right? Where like he conquers
right.
hell and heaven and then becomes God and Satan at the same time. You know
Mm,
what I mean? So like Hellboy is a lot more smaller scale. Um, and this is supposed to be the start of a whole new series, and you're following a much younger Hellboy, and that looks really cool.
mm.
And there's no CGI enhancements, I guess, in this movie, is what they're saying. Everything was shot practically. I just don't understand how that's the case with the
Uh,
snake, but
well,
we'll
I was
see.
gonna say the snake, and then wasn't there a thing with a train too that I'm
Yeah,
remembering?
that
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 looked CGI as hell. But
yeah,
it could have also been models, but who knows? With,
true,
like
true.
just because it doesn't have CGI doesn't mean that they didn't digitally manipulate it, I guess. I don't really know where the line or difference would be, but
Yeah,
it's
what is
also
it they said? What's the quote exactly? No CGI enhancements? Is that what they're
Taylor
claiming?
said that for Hellboy the Crooked Man, no AI tools were used in pre-production or elsewhere, and that the characters,
Hmm.
of both Hellboy and the Crooked Man were created and shot practically with no CGI enhancements. Oh, okay. So he's just talking about just Hellboy and the character itself. I kind of took that out of
Gotcha. Okay.
quotation. So he's talking about just the villain and Hellboy himself. So that's cool.
Okay.
So
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for it. I mean, I bet it'll be a fun 90 minutes that I seriously doubt it's going to be a waste of my time. You know,
Hmm.
at the very least, I'm excited to see somebody else take on Hellboy. And I'm kind of happy to see something that isn't like a 25, 30, $40 million budget movie like the David Arbor
Right.
one, you know.
Right.
Again, no shade on that one, but sometimes not everything needs to be big scale. And that's why this one's got my attention. Honestly, I didn't think the trailer was going to be good because I heard the word of mouth for it. I was going to go see it regardless, but
Hmm.
I'm pretty stoked after seeing that for sure.
Yeah, I got the feeling that that's maybe what people were expecting. I mean, like I said, I was a little thrown off at first by the change in setting and tone, but I mean, like I said, it might be a welcome change. It looks interesting to say the
Mhm.
least. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Looks
our
really good.
reaction
The
to
reaction.
Hellboy.
Yeah. Thank you
I
guys
almost
so
said I
much.
almost said the crooked one.
The crooked. Yeah. True.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
thanks for
crooked
watching, guys.
one.
If you're still with us, thanks for checking out the video. Comment down below. Are you guys looking forward to this? Are you going to check this out? Are you not interested? What are your thoughts? We'd like to hear your feedback down below. Thanks.
Later, everybody.